All right, right now, I'm sickened. Welcome to Riot City, first of all. Second of all, you better listen to 3 Count Podcast. Oh, by the way, Showtime, Jeremy Grimes.
I knew that she raised one. All of your hate won't change none. Who you think you are?
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, because I do all of these interviews because, you know, that's what I do. Because Chaz don't run shit, he don't do shit, he just talks shit. But more importantly, let's get it down because we do have ourselves a guest. And like I said, this is the 3 Count Podcast, Now Entering the Ring, which means we do have a guest for you. This guest can be seen on ACW. You can see him at SCWA, Warriors of Wrestling, NEW. He's even been attached to OVW. This man travels the land up and down East Coast, and a man that I admire the most. Give it up for the man himself, known as Beastman.
What's going on, Clifford? How you doing, buddy?
Man, I am just so excited to have you on the show.
I am happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
You've been telling me earlier we were trying to do this, but last night we were able to do it. So,
hey, you know what? No time like the present time, and even if there's things that happen, whatever, man, we get this started, we get this turned up.
Let's do it.
So really quick, we do have our first run-in of the night because that's usually what happens on these shows. Give it up for the man. He's a superstar. He's the man who deserves the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony. He even has a Kids' Choice Award, and he has 3 Nickelodeon Teen Choice Awards. He is the man himself, known as Jeremy Showtime Grimes.
Hey, look, I'm just happy to be here with Beastman and yourself.
What's up, Jeremy? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing too bad. Just enjoying another nice night here at the bowling alley, getting ready to start late, but I figured I'd put you guys out first. So,
Right on.
Hey.
We appreciate it.
who's that guy? The screen just went black.
Yeah, he does that. So let's get jumped in right away, right? So first question, I asked this question, and I just, generally want to know, like, who is Beastman?
Who is Beastman? That is the ultimate question. Well, it could be a million things. It could be Beastman's a guy that really doesn't have an identity to who he is or what he is. It's what people perceive him as. If you're talking about the man behind Beastman, well, that's a guy from who was born on July 17th, 1986 in a small town called McMecken, West Virginia. Or you can talk about the guy that was born on September 18th, 2010 in Clarksburg, West Virginia, at the Summit Hall Fire Department in front of 200 people, and probably had one of the best matches of my life and how I became Beastman. We'll get to that later. But I would say Beastman himself, he's this crazy, wild mountain man that is from the Stone Age. He doesn't understand. He's from the deepest, darkest parts of West Virginia. He was just let go out in the wrestling world to cause havoc and chaos and destroy anybody that gets in his way. That's probably the best way I can describe Beastman himself.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember watching you at one of the ACW events in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and you just everybody just got schmowed. It was one of my favorite moments. That, and then you had a match prior to that. I forget where we were. It was an ACW as well, and the guy that you were wrestling there, like, I've never seen someone throw chops in real life so hard, and I didn't even feel bad for that guy after hearing some stuff I heard.
Oh yeah, that's a song for another time. Though we're not here to bear anybody.
No, that's not what we do here. But here is my next question, though. What is one of the hardest things about being a pro wrestler?
It depends. Like, you're going to hear a lot of depends. This is my personal view. I mean, everybody has their own different opinion about it. Hard. Man, that's really hard. Obviously, the injuries, the travel. My hardship, used to be being in relationships with girls. Thankfully, I don't have that issue anymore because the girl I'm with, I met her at a wrestling show. She's loved my life. Can't ask for anything better. She hates wrestling, which makes it even better for me because she doesn't understand nothing about it. But It just depends on when you start out, like starting out in the business, probably trying to find bookings is probably one of the hardest things, trying to be able to stay busy, going to shows, trying to make sure you have a car that runs, just doing whatever, just the hustle and grind of being in the business itself is hard on anybody. Mainly the injuries now. I'm older, I'm 100 pounds more than what I used to be when I first started out. So injury, and plus I'm almost 35, so the injuries coming. Like the injuries are starting to catch up. But I feel the same. I feel the same way when I was 22 years old, stepped in the ring the first time, like I do today. So that's really the hardships for me, at least.
So what got you into the business?
Oh man, I've always been a fan of it since I was a kid. Mainly when I was, my first memories of wrestling when I was a baby was watching on television when I was about 4 or 5 years old, watching Saturday morning WWF Superstars, seeing The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. Obviously, I was a big Hulk maniac. And then, this is from what I can remember when I first started. Then just like getting tapes of my friends, my mom's friend would get the tape of WWF pay-per-views, like watching SummerSlam for the first time when Macho Man married Elizabeth. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior versus Ted DiBiase, Sergeant Slaughter, and the Iron Sheik. Big Boss Man versus the Mountie, Madison Square Garden. Seeing Andre the Giant before he died. Stuff like that is what made me larger-than-life personas. And then just like, this is when I was younger. Then when I was growing up, I've always been a fan. Like, I always hung out with the guys that loved wrestling. We all did. Then people grew older. I kind of still stuck with it. Never gave up on it. I always told everybody since I was a kid I was going to be a professional wrestler. And junior high, I kind of like dipped away from it for a little bit. Then started loving watching it again when the Attitude Era was coming on. I got into football, did amateur wrestling, then was still watched it. Didn't really want to do it for a living. I didn't really want to make it my job. And until I went to my first ever indie show when I was 15. It's a funny story how that happened. I went to high school, Catholic high school. One of the kids that used to go there all of a sudden became a wrestling fan. You know, that's usually how it is. Some of them guys, I'm going to run a promotion. So he gave like the whole school tickets. So I'm like, I'm going. And on the show was Doink the Clown. Oh boy, this is going to be great. So I go up to the guy that was Doink at the time. He's like, I like asking questions. He's like, oh. So what's Dink doing? My first question was, so where's Dink? Of all people to ask. He's like, oh, he's a Mexican. Just let it go like that. And my first, then, like, this is what really kind of got me hooked on knowing what this is what I wanted to do. During the match, there was a guy named Sweet Stevie Lee that came out. He's from out towards line. He's from the Ohio area. Like he passed away years ago, but he was a really great guy. Comes out, gets on the mic, and says, "I challenge anybody." What he says, "I challenge anybody that feels like they got the balls to step in the ring with me." I'm sitting front row. I said, "I'll take you on." He's like, "Oh yeah, get in the ring, fat boy." I was a stealthy 235 back then. So I get up, I start sliding in the ring. He's about to come to put the boots to me, and security actually pulls me out. And they told me to sit down. And I'm like, I'm going there to kick his ass. So like, no, you need to sit down. So I sat down, and like the crowd was just like all up in arms for him. It was like really cool. I was like, oh, I got my first pop. And then after the show, the ring was still there, and I was like, "Hey, what can I do to get in the ring?" The guy had the ring was, "If you help tear it down, I'll let you in the ring." Stepped in the ring. Jimmy Garvin said this in his Hall of Fame speech, and this is true. Smelled the canvas, smelled the ropes. Stepped in the ring, just looked around, and I knew right then and there. That's when I realized I wanted to be a professional wrestler. Hey, as crazy as it sounds, like it was that moment that you know what you want to do. That was it. So since then, I've stuck with it. I tried to get training when I started out. Couldn't get the proper training. It took me about maybe 5 years after that to get proper training before I became who I am now. So, but yeah, am I crazy? Like the way I got started into the business, like I was brought up old school. And what I mean by old school is, like I said, I didn't have no formal training when I started. I was just trying to get in the ring as much as I can. So if there, and I would lie sometimes, say, "Oh yeah, I got trained by this guy." The guy would actually show up, and he's like, "I didn't train." So they would put me in the ring with that guy, and get my ass whooped. You know, like how they did back in the territories, where like you try to break him in and see how it was. Well, starting out like, and then I finally found a guy that said he would train me, and said guy would always tell me, "Hey, you need to, you gotta act like you're the baddest man around. You need to tell these motherfuckers how it is." And I would do that. I would run shit my mouth off when I shouldn't. I got blackballed pretty easily until one of the guys that really helped me out the most is in New York. He runs a company in West Virginia. And I drove him home from the show one night. He's like, he saw my match. He's like, you do kind of got potential when you got the proper training. He's like, I want to get trained right. I don't know what to do. So he hooked me up with a guy named Nikita Alanoff from Pittsburgh, and I started going to the PWX wrestling school up there. Well, all of a sudden, the school kind of shut down. Him and the promoter had falling out. So what they did was they set up a ring in Rick's Garage. And it was like, okay, it's like, here's the ring, here's the outside, here's the inside. So we started training in January in the snow. So whenever the snow would get like covered up, we'd have to stop training and start sweeping the snow out of the ring. And then we did that for like 6 months. And then when it got hot, it was really hot, no air conditioning, no heat. We'd be freezing, it would be hot. I mean, we really serious, hardcore. And on June 6, 2006, 666, I had my very first ever wrestling match as a trained worker, and it's just, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sorry it took up a long time, but I want to tell the story. I don't want to put bits and pieces in, That's what the editing's for.
Well, to be fair, this interview is all about you, so you can take as long as you want.
Well, I don't want people to start turning off the show when they start getting bored. So.
Nah, that's on them then. That's not. So
trying to get ratings here, guys. Try to get ratings.
So my big question for you two is, what advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
Go to college and not get in the wrestling business. Really? I mean, sorry, COVID, you know how it is. In all honesty, like, if people wanting to start out, I would not recommend starting out the way I did. I would find a legit school with a legit trainer, someone that has credentials, that has made it somewhere. There's a lot of good wrestling schools out there now. Probably ones aren't going to try to take your money. If you have to move, go to OVW, go to Louisville, get trained by House now, go to the Monster Factory, Danny Cage, go to AML's Wrestling School in North Carolina. A lot of good schools. I think the Freelance Wrestling Academy of Chicago, there's a lot of good wrestling schools out there. You just got to really put the effort in, and you got to really put the time and effort in to know, like, find the one that's right for you. Like, there's so many wrestling schools out there now, but you have to think about it like this. You can either go get trained by somebody that will never make it in the business, or you can get trained by somebody that's been there and teach you the way to get to where he was at, That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor's wrestling school, too. Can't forget about that. I will.
All right. Well, I'm going to hand it over to Jeremy, and Jeremy's got some questions for you as well.
Oh, Jeremy. Bring them on, brother. Bring the hard ones. I don't know what you're going to ask me, but just to let you know, I do not know what Batista's dick size is, so we're going to get that out of the way, okay?
All right, well, there went like my first 6 questions. No, so I asked questions that are wrestling related and not wrestling related. I kind of just want to get to know you more as a person. So my first one
Okay.
is, a lot of us have pre-game rituals before we like hit the curtain and everything. Like even if it's on the way to the show, I've heard answers from I wear the same underwear every time I wrestle to I eat the same meal. What are some pre-game rituals or pre-match rituals that you do before you hit the curtain?
Oh man, you know what? I never really even noticed, to be honest with you. Just usually I'm by the curtain match before getting ready. If I would say anything, I would always. I don't really have any pre-match rituals. As crazy as it sounds, like I just get out there and go. Like my adrenaline starts going, when my music hits, I go out there and kick ass. If I would say anything, I always put my gears the same way after every match, put it back in. You know what I mean? I think that would be like my ritual. I know it sounds dumb, but oh no, I do headbutt the wall. So I do headbutt the wall before I go out. So just to kind of get the adrenaline going.
Right on. Favorite place you've eaten at after a show?
Oh man, that is a good one. It depends on where you're at, man. It just really depends on what part of the country you're at. Philly, Jersey area, Hats or Geno's, it has to. Yeah, you gotta get your cheesesteaks. Tony Luke's is open. I go there, but except on Sundays because they're fucking closed. They gotta change that. Mainly like the Pittsburgh. There's Permanis. That's like the spot for everybody. In Ohio, Lima. There's that in Lima from where we go to this bar called Somewhere is what it's called. That's usually a good spot. They have food and drinks there. Canton, there's this one bar we go to that's really cool. Then there's out Massillon, there's Fridays. Michigan and Detroit, we go to this Mexican restaurant for after Rude Boy shows for international big time wrestling. Chicago, I really haven't found a spot yet. Usually I go back to the hotel. I used to just go out and like find it. We used to go out like when I was younger. We'd always go out to bars and like drink and just like get screwed up and chase women and have a good time. Now for me, it's like I go eat and go home. You know, like as much as I love hanging out with the guys, like it's a whole different. Like it seems like the older you get, you really just don't want to like, I guess, cause trouble because I've been known to cause some trouble. I don't want to be like that.
Right on.
Trying to keep a professional image.
Best crowd you've been in front of, like state-wise, like you've been a lot of places. I see that you're going to Texas here soon. So
Yes, I'm excited about that. Holy shit, my fucking. Here, we have to edit that. We have to edit that out. So, give me 1 second. Let me cough. I got allergies, so I got a dry cough right now. So you have to excuse me. I don't have COVID. We're good, even if we're so. My favorite crowds. Can I go by area? Because there's like a lot of places. I mean, I think my favorite crowds before was Philadelphia. Easily Philadelphia, New Jersey, Philly. I love the like the ECW roots. I love the toughness. I love like you have to really go out there and give them 100%. You know, they don't like seeing half-assed people because I've seen them get booed out of the building. Same thing with Chicago. Chicago's the same way. They don't want to be bored. They want to be entertained. You gotta go out there and give them 100% each time. You know. Maryland's fun. I like Glen Burnie. Glen Burnie's crowd when I was out there in February was pretty cool. Okay. Favorite crowd. Pittsburgh Wrestle Rings. Sam Adonis' inspiration. That crowd, it's like a mix of Beyond, GCW. Like it's Pittsburgh wrestling with a lucha atmosphere. It is amazing. Like it's just a great time. Like, I'll give you an example. I always always feel the crowd what I'm getting. Like if they're into it, I'll give them more. I'm like, well, I'll give them Beastman, but I'm not going to give them enough to where I'm going to kill myself. Last WrestleRec show, crowd's hot. Crowd is up. They are up. So my opponent goes off the top rope. Cut him off. I climb the top. I'm thinking like, what can I do here? I call the Hurricane Rana. Call for Hurricane Rana. I haven't done Hurricane Rana in 15 years. It's just training. And he's like, what? Let's go. I go. I almost land on my head. He went through. Crowd went crazy. Erupted. Like, that crowd is just so nuts. And I love it every time. That's probably my favorite crowd anywhere I've wrestled in front of. It's the best. Like, and the guys in Lima for War, they're also great, passionate fans. But just that atmosphere at WrestleRex is what really is like makes it great. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I guess my last question now, and it's one of my favorites. Favorite wrestler's entrance?
Like entrance?
Yes.
I really like Matt Tremont's. Only because his theme song is the same song as my ringtone. I love Journey. I'm a big Journey guy, so like just the roar of that crowd getting pumped up before he comes out. He has them in palm and hands when he comes through the curtain. It's just I don't know why it just gets me every time. It really does.
Right on, right on. So I know I can't ask about Batista's dick size, so back to Cliff.
All right.
Yeah. All right. One question I really want to ask, because you mentioned it, I definitely was going to talk about it anyway, but Hurricanrana that you threw. But with that being said, my question really is, what's the worst bump you've taken?
Worst bump I've ever taken. Oh man. 2 years ago, Wheeling, West Virginia, IWC. They had a show at the casino there. It was a 6-way scramble. I went off the top rope, did a flip, landed on the concrete, and hurt my hip pretty bad. So, like it's the worst like imitation of a flip you would ever see. But it got to the point across, crowd loved it. So I would say that'd be my worst bump ever.
That's a fair assessment. I mean, that does not sound good at all. But with that being said, that ends like all of like the basic questions that we have. But we have the best segment on Now Entering the Ring, and that is the world famous 10-count questions. Here's how it works, sir. We're going to ask you a series of questions, 10 of them to be exact, and rapid fire. So it's whatever first thought comes to your mind. So we'll put the imaginary timer on the clock. Bing! And our first question starts off with favorite food.
Pizza.
Dream match.
Bruiser Brody if he was alive.
Favorite movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I like that movie too. Friday night, what are you doing?
Going to a Halloween party.
You do that every Friday night?
This Friday I am.
All right, right on. Favorite podcast.
As much as I'd love to say your guys', I would have to say Jim Cornette Experience.
Hey, you know what? We'll take a close second to that. I'm okay with that.
I was going to say that.
SmackDown or Raw?
Neither.
All right. Favorite wrestler?
Can I do two?
Yeah.
One's past, Bruiser Brody. One that's currently around right now, Drew McIntyre.
Favorite place to visit?
Detroit, Michigan.
I like Detroit. Name someone that you would want to see on this podcast.
Big Ben Bishop. If he hasn't been on here yet. I think he'd be a good story.
We will be having him return.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, let me say something else. Sam Adonis.
Okay. I like that. And then last but not least, and this is where this is going to be really fun, my favorite question to ask every single person that comes here, favorite curse word?
Punt.
Hey, let's go. All right. Well, with that being said, that is the 10 count questions. We've asked all of our questions. So, Mr. Beastman, can you let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you?
Get your pen and paper out, boys. All right. And you want to find me on Instagram at Beastman Husk, Twitter at Beastman Husk, Facebook.com/Beastman Husk, YouTube at Beastman Husk. Basically, if you want to find me on all social media platforms, look up Beastman Husk. And if any promoters out there are interested in bringing me to their town, email me at beastmanhusk@gmail.com.
There you go. So that is everything. So with that being said, I am the Red Dog Clifford Miller here with Showtime Grimes. This is the 3 Count Presents Now Entering the Ring, Beastman. So tune into the next episode. Be there.
Husk.
So be there or be somewhere else. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3count pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3count podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3count podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3count pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.